Hello everybody, this is Soldier here. Welcome back to the final episode of Halo Reach for my Road to Infinity. So, this one's gonna be all the secrets and Easter eggs that I could find in Halo Reach. And if there is any more secrets or Easter eggs that may have missed, please make sure to let me know in the comments below. Because I will do a redo of all the Easter eggs that I missed for the campaigns after I complete Infinite. So, in case I did miss something, make sure to let me know in the comments below. But anyways, let's get started. These dead Marines here have different textures on the different difficulties. The only thing that's actually interesting here is if you look closely at the ground, there is footprints indicating that they were tortured here a lot. Not only on this mission, but of course there's also on this mission, right at the start of Exodus. This symbol that's up here on Winter Contingency is, and also here at this shampoo bottle at Exodus, it's actually one of the lights from Halo CE, even though I don't see the semblance, but it's kind of close. This cutscene, you could see that the number 7 is on the assault rifle, which is also not the Bungie's favorite number, the number 7.
5 and 6, clear the hole.
Throughout Halo Reach, there's these elites called Bob elites. The most common kind of Bob elite is the Gold Ranger, which could be found on assortment of levels, but on Witches of Contingency, it's really easy to kill him. And once you do, you get an achievement for it. But there's also some other types of Bobs. We have White Elite Bob. We have the Elite Miner Bob. We have the Elite Officer Bob. We have Elite Ranger Bob. White Bob. We have a Elite Spec Ops Bob. We have Elite Ultra Bob. We have an Elite General Officer Bob. We have a Zealot Bob. And we have a Field Marshal Bob. So all these Bobs are kind of like born on site kind of thing, where they were born on like High Charity for probably instance, where they only have specific uniforms, but this is what their uniforms are. They're just regular elites basically. These grunts here on Oni Sword Base hold plasma rifles instead of the usual plasma pistols. This is the only time where grunts are actually seen with plasma rifles. At the start of new Only Sword Base, if you shoot all your ammo in the assault rifle in one go, the number will read to a full 3 in an instant. It's a nod to 343 Guilty Spark. If you come to these two locations on Only Sword Base, there will be a sign to say open door. If two players hold the door open, you'll activate the Reach Racer secret, where you and a friend get to race together against 2 warthogs, where you both have to be the first to make it to the end. This can only be done with 2 people though, as hitting both switches is kind of difficult to do solo. There will be markers to indicate where to go next. Kind of like a regular Mario Kart game in a way, except without the power-ups and items. Once one of you has completed the goal, you'll get you win. At this factory that you come across in Tip of the Spear, a BXR logo can be displayed here, which I forget the name, but it has something to do with, I believe, one of the workers at Bungie. Anchor 9 has the numbers 117. This pelican that holds the bomb when playing this mission, you can actually use the turret. There's a teddy bear here when you start the mission Exodus. You can eat Moa burgers for $7.77, which is also another nod to Bungie's favorite number. As a fun fact, these burgers were actually chips at one point in time, and I bought some of these. The Marines here are Bungie and Rooster Teeth names. I don't know if this is only where they are, but if it's all Marines and any, any Marines and ODSTs that are helping you with certain areas, I'm not too sure, but I'd like to think that they are. You can come outside the map here of Exodus. Doing so will get you the achievement, Did you major in a Marine battle? The Falcon has an actual falcon on the two sides, indicating that this is a Falcon. On the top of one of the buildings, you could find a smiley face made out of newspapers. On the same building, if you go inside and disable the bomb, you'll find a hidden Marine that's very calorie in the corner. If you come down here, you'll be able to find a switch that you can activate. If you go to Club Aurora, the Brute will be doing a disco dance while the Grunt's dancing. If you go back outside and hit to the rooftop, there'll be another switch that you can hit. This switch will activate another song that you can play in the club. The club also has the same exact layout as their escape pod that was from ODST. Another thing that you can also find is one out of the 9 missions that you can do for New Alexandria. You'll find a mission that is helping Buck and escorting him to his objective. Once done, it will speed like the other ones, but again, who doesn't love Sergeant Buck?
I owe you one, Spartan.
Under this building right here, you could find a switch. It's recommended to do it with 2 players, but it is possible solo. Once someone hits the switch, you then have to hijack a Banshee if you're playing with 2 people. If you're playing solo, it's going to be a lot harder, but that's why I prefer to do it with 2 people. Once you hit the switch, you then go get yourself a Banshee. And then you make your way over to the opposite side of the level where this little ring is. And once you go through it, you can both fly a Phantom and a Pelican. Unfortunately, the guns don't work on either the Phantom or the Pelican, but it's still pretty cool to ride. The Scorpion tank has George's number, as well as a Scorpion on the side. If you move this box out of the way and come over to the side where you first get the tank, there will be a switch that you can press. Once that switch is pressed, another switch will spawn right in the exact area where I moved the boxes. Doing so will spawn 4 Banshees that you can use through the level until you eventually have to go inside of the base. Come to the big section of the video, which is Halsey's lab. So you want to grab a jetpack, and then you want to come over to here to this specific area. Once you do, you want to make it very, very carefully that you do not die, because you can die in this area, but that's why you have the jetpack. So you fly, and then you gotta slowly make your way to be able to hit this switch right here. Once you do, a bunch of general officers will spawn, and you have to take them all out. Once you do take them out, you'll be met with the Bungie room. This Bungie room is a nod to everything that Bungie has done for Halo up until this point. And it's a big thank you to the series, so I'll be reading out the information below. Subject RVB, known associated Burns B, Helium M, Ramsey G, Gustavo S, Sandana J, et al. This one and his color has piqued my curiosity with their instant pepper train. while we're busy ourselves bending this technology in the service of the war. They twist it and convert the public message of our efforts into something else. I'll admit, like the massive measuring of men and women that now hang out in every word, I laughed at their antics on more than one occasion. I find their instant mockery and immaturity strangely chaotic, even if I cannot help myself but question whether or not this projected war has wreaked invisible harm and havoc upon these poor souls' insanity. That's also a nod to Red versus Blue for those who don't know. Subject ABO, Settle Known Associate Era C, Charles Mem or B. I've been keeping an eye on my fracture for years now. I'm now officially impressed, for civilian Erie and his compatriots have assembled quite the network of like-minded individuals and cobbled together more than their fair share of internet technology. If I didn't know better, I'd call them a military. Daily, they're scouring public, private, and military systems in search of any data relevant to their cause. Daily, they bring more men to women to their cause. The fact that they continue to do such successful is impressive, but ultimately it is their passion and perseverance that could make a pivotal and potentially powerful ally in this war. I wonder what kind of mess they could make if I cut out the middleman and grant them direct access to my internal systems. I can't wait to find out. Subject Jump Program. When I initially caught wind of this new training protocol, I didn't believe a word. Military types, despite their devotion to the structure, or perhaps because of it, enjoy the respite offered by all tales. So I assumed that the field reports of the man and his flying pig were owed to such phenomenon. Using fragmentation grenades to lift an M12 sounded too much like a fairy tale. But as it said, seeing a believing and a particular Marine managed to catch his acrobatic antics on film, it's just a shame my program only ran it for a single generation, and that specifications were so rigged. In another life, this one might have made a hell of a Spartan. He certainly should have been recommended for the ODST. I'll be flagging this file for investigation. It's too risky to have this Marine out in the field. If his foolish actions go unchecked, I suspect we may have seen a dozen, if not hundreds, of emulators in the future. Subject: Fight the Flood. Be a hero. Humanity never ceased to amaze me, and the fact that despair of among us responds only with generosity here gives our species preferment to succumb to the base emotions. I find it comforting to see that there's still a sense of courage, compassion instilled in many among us. Even though at this whole we're gonna be still seek ourselves voluntarily via a wealth of meaningless artificial constructs. Subject: HSS Classified. My friends in the field trusted eyes and ears walking amongst the masses. They've been invaluable to me over the years. Throughout times, they have proven themselves less than the heavily-handed though they are. They have earned my respects and admiration. I fear that I may be the only payment they ever extract from me. I like pie. Curious, I don't recall opening this file. Perhaps I've had a security breach. All the notes in here are from people that Bungie wanted to give nods to, like Red vs. Blue, for instance. Those are the big ones. Once you're done reading this, if you hit the switch, the cutscene will play for the package, the final cutscene. This jackal is another one of the jackals that use a plasma rifle. In lore, they are allowed to use them, but it's rare to see them only in certain areas of the game. Two games. Same thing like with Halo 2. The Mac gun has anti-dot symbol and Emil's Sierra number. You can also pilot the Mac cannon before you actually get to pilot it, and you can take out some of the phantoms that are coming in. Though some troops will already be on the ground, so you might want to use something to kill them with.
Approach. Platform
Captain Key's dialogue changes on Legendary, which I did not know about until recently.
Good to see you, Spud. Catherine assured me I could count on you.
If you move the camera here when the Pelican's coming into the Pillar Realm, you'll see Master Chief. This can only be done on higher difficulties, though. Alright, the big one of the video here. The Devoted Sentry. So the Devoted Sentry are a Spec Ops team of Zealot elites. The first time we do encounter them in Halo Reach Standard is during this cutscene, during Winter Contingency. Right after George talks with the girl, the Spec Ops leader jumps down, and the 2 other Zealots follow suit. After the Field Marshal destroys the relay station, he makes a break for it after taking some damage, leaving the other 2 Zealots behind, which is what me and George take down. Not to mention they also capture a Marine here, which is sad. I always thought this guy was the girl screaming for help, but it's actually just a Marine that was laying down on the ground, so.
-4, stay on the entrance. 2, handle her. 5 and 6, clear the hole.
Once you get in, you can kill the first elite zealot of the game. I obviously did it with a knife, so we skip to the other zealot, which is down by the power thing. Once you kill them, those will be the 2 zealots that you defeat. Obviously, the Field Marshal would be pleased to know that we killed both his zealots. During Tip of the Spear, you do have the option to kill this other zealot that spawned over here. Since he is a high elite member, killing him would make the Field Marshal even more upset.
Or torch and burn off. Keep Dr. Halsey's excavation data from falling into enemy hands.
Another time we can see the Devoted Sentry is during this cutscene with Kat. And if you look very closely after Kat gets assassinated, it's none other than the Field Marshal, the one that we saw at the relay station. Got a snipe on Kat right then and there.
Come on, copy.
And obviously, the last time we see the Devoted Sentry is during this cutscene right here. You can see a Phantom in the background.
Copy that.
The 2 zealots that Emil kills and eventually gets killed. So in total, this area has 3 zealots with 1 Field Marshal, if you're playing Legendary, of course. Once you take out the first 2 zealots, you always want to go with Field Marshal last, since he's kind of like the final boss of the area. The Field Marshal, though, doesn't mess around, though. He can use his Field Rod and Energy Sword when he takes a bunch of damage. But I always try to melee in the back, so it's all fine there. Then we have the 2 zealots that are here that Emil killed. They still have their energy shields as well as Emil, which doesn't make sense, because if they're dead, they're not supposed to have them. Well, this is going to be the end of today's video, guys. So yes, this I decided to try to do a little bit of different strategy for showing off all the Easter eggs and secret stuff that I managed to find. Like I said before, there will be one for the multiplayer version of every single Halo game, but that's going to be after I complete Infinite. So guys, if you guys enjoyed this episode of the final episode of Halo Reach Ultimate series, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!